Back in 2016, when light up sneakers were trending and everybody had a pair except me, I'd ask my parents for light up sneakers, but instead they would tell me that it was a waste of money and that I would grow out of it. So instead, I decided to make my own money by selling lemonade, and in 3 months, I was able to make enough money to buy my own light up sneakers. And I still see this experience as a resilient move that I made and devotion for these shoes that I did eventually grow out of. And I still like to remember that time. A refreshing flavored water made out of lemons makes you money. A study made by the National Library of Medicine in May 16, 2022 showed that participants prefer sweet flavored water instead of sour and bitterness water. So I'll be going over the materials and ingredients that you need to make lemonade. And secondly, I will be going over the ingredients and how to prepare them. Finally, I will be going over how to properly serve your lemonade. So the first thing that you need to do is to gather all your materials and ingredients. You need 4 materials, which is a pitcher, a lemonade squeezer, a knife, and a spoon. You need 4 ingredients to make a lemonade, which is water, lemons, small lemons, and sugar. The second step to make lemonade is to prepare your ingredients. So first off, what you want to do is cut all your lemons in half. So with the knife, cut all your lemons in half. And I usually cut them in half. Also, I recommend that when making a lemonade, you use a small lemon, since it'd be more difficult to measure with bigger lemons. I get my lemons from my lemon tree because that's where I got my lemons when I sold them. And I still have it, and it still grows, luckily. And they get a lot of juice for some reason, which is good. Now that you got all your lemons, the second step is to squeeze all the lemon water inside your pitcher. For the sake of this video, I'm not gonna add a lot of pressure in these lemons because I like to get all of the lemon juice out. By the way, my favorite color is green and yellow. Also, when making a lemonade, I recommend that you get lemons because they're good. And so then you squeeze all your lemons inside the pitcher, which is 4 lemons. I use 4 lemons. And for a bigger jar or pitcher, whatever you call it, I add like 12 lemons. Depends on like how many like lemons there is, and like it really depends a lot. But I usually make a bigger jar of lemonade for my family when we eat because it's a refreshing water. Anyways, well, now that you squeeze all your lemons inside the pitcher, you want to move on to the second step, which is adding water. I usually like to add like most of the water inside the pitcher, or as much as your pitcher can hold. And in this case, my pitcher is like really small. And I'll be adding 2 water bottles, which is enough. ASMR. Third step is to add your sugar. And I like to, with your spoon, add 2 of these with sugar. any sugar is good. And I just poured 1 and 2, and then I mix. I usually mix until I can't really hear all the sugar in the bottom, and until the sugar is dissolved. So that's around like 2 minutes. And you can still hear the sugar if you keep on mixing it. And that's how you know that the sugar is still not dissolved. So you gotta keep on mixing. By the end that you stop mixing, you want to taste the water to see if it needs a little more sugar, which usually it doesn't because the lemon already has sugar in it, which is natural. But yeah, you want to keep on mixing for a bit more. If you still hear the sugar in the bottom of the pitcher. Oh my god. The third final step is to properly serve your lemonade. So you'll be using a glass cup. And it is essential for you to use a glass cup because it has a more refreshing feeling than a plastic one, which I didn't use back then when I was selling it. Instead, I would use this cheap glass made type of material, and everybody loved it. So you want to pour at least a third of your cup. And there you have it. I have went over how to gather your materials, and I also went over how to prepare the ingredients. And finally, I demonstrated how to serve it. So now that you know and have this knowledge how to make lemonade, you could go and sell it and buy your own pair of light up sneakers like I did.